Folks, welcome back to the podcast. Welcome back to Bru Time. Had a little bit of a hiatus, I think that's what you call it. Been away for about maybe 5-6 weeks, I think. No real story behind it, except I was off down to Switzerland end of September with Mark from MMD Adventures. Hello, Mark, if you're watching, listening. And I never really got back into the swing of doing the podcast when I came back. I just had loads to do and I just didn't get back to it. So this is the first one back. We have Dave McGinnity from Image4Security. Dave, how you doing?
Yeah, good. Thanks, Bruce. Yeah. Hello to everyone who's listening or not listening yet. Thanks for having me on.
No, my pleasure, mate. Thank you very much for coming on. We've had a few technical issues. I've been a little bit out of practice, and as is Dave. So I think we're up and running. We should be all good. I see you have a little glass of juice there, some tipple. I'm going to crack open a little tinny here. So thanks to you.
Happy birthday to you last week, Bruce.
Thank you very much.
It was it was my 30th at the weekend as well, so we can both celebrate.
30.
Yeah.
Happy 30th to you. You're a boy. 30. Oh my God.
I'm a child. Yeah. How old are you, Bruce?
I turned 45. I know I look 54, but I turned 45.
Yeah.
Wow. Can't believe it.
Good fun. Yeah. Full part of the fun. Eh?
I remember my dad's being like 40. This is shocking. I remember my dad turning 40, like 42, 43, and having like a midlife crisis because he started taking my older brother out running and stuff. And now I'm older than he was when he was doing that. Yeah, crazy.
Oh well.
So, right, Dave. For anyone that doesn't know who you are or what Image4Security do, I'll hand it over to you like we normally do. What's your name? Where'd you come from?
Yeah, sure. Dave McGinnity. I run a business called Image4Security with my father-in-law called Pat. We design and manufacture security products, so aiming at the motorbike security market for your garage. Some of you might have heard of our Guardsman, bit of a plug, Guardsman Garage Security Barrier, which was our first product that we released about a year and a half ago now. And since then, we've continued to develop and sort of sell other security products off the back of the Guardsman barrier. And it's going really well. There's three of us now. So we started off with me and Pat, and Rob is Pat's son and my brother-in-law. He's joined the business as well. So, yeah, I mean, we didn't start it at the best of times, Bruce. It was right at the start of COVID and lockdown.
Tell me about it.
I mean, timing couldn't have been worse, but, we're still here. So that's the main thing, and we're still smiling. So, yeah, there's been ups and downs like any business starting out. Massive learning curves. I'd never done anything like this before in my life, none of us had. So, it's been an absolute crazy roller coaster journey from where we started to where we are now. It's been brilliant, to be honest. I wouldn't have changed anything, but tough times, good times, and everything
Certainly.
in between. Yeah.
So, what did you come from, like a self-employed background in another business, or were you doing a job and just had this sort of idea about the Guardsman?
Yeah. So where the idea came from, Pat and another chap were running a metalwork fabrication business for the last 12 years. Pat's done metalwork all his life. He started his own business 12 years ago called Image4 Fabrications, and they were in metalwork bespoke jobs for museums. And then Pat watched a video on YouTube of a guy having his motorbike robbed out of a garage, and basically set out and said, look, I'm going to make something to stop that. And that's where the idea came from. Then he continued tinkering for it's taken us about 18 to 2 years in terms of starting to where we are now, of tinkering and playing and developing. And then previously I worked for Aldi. I was an area manager at Aldi. I had no metalwork, fabrication engineering background whatsoever. And then we were having dinner, Father's Day dinner, about 2.5 years ago. And he told me about the idea of the Guardsman and the barrier and what they did. And I said, like, look, what do you want to do with it? And he said, I don't know what to do with it. I'm asking you what we should do. And then I spent a week with him at the unit, just talking about different ideas, what we can do in the future, did a bit of research, and then we said, look, let's go for it. And then I left my job, joined the business. The other chap in the business left, so me and Pat went at it, just the two of us. And then we got Rob on board to help do the manufacturing. So he's a welder. He's a brilliant, fantastic welder. So like I took care of the customer businessy side, Pat does the development of ideas, and Rob does the manufacturing. So the three of us, it works really well, really complement each other. So that's...
Well, you've grown. God, I mean, you're definitely right there in the forefront in the biking community. As far as security goes, people know about the Guardsman.
Yeah. Well, that's brilliant, because I mean, we've only been going about 18 months really properly. From getting a product, making a website, putting the product out there into people's faces, getting people to buy it. Yeah. It's been a massive learning curve, and thanks to everyone who's already purchased a Guardsman or any of our products. It's been great sort of meeting people as well. So a lot of the guys who buy from us, we go out and install them. So me and Rob do all the installs across the country. So we've been top to bottom of the country. And it's been, challenging, but absolutely fantastic. Yeah, it's been a real journey so far. Hopefully we'll continue.
Absolutely. So for anyone who's not familiar then with the Guardsman, can you describe what is the Guardsman? What is that?
It's a garage security barrier. So there's two posts. There's an arm post and a locking post, and it sits inside of your garage behind your two piers. And the two posts sit flush, or as flush as we can do, to the two walls of your garage. And then the arm post comes down, telescopes across, and then locks into the locking post on the other side. And that forms a physical barrier across your garage door opening. So any large items, your motorbikes, your cars, toolboxes, whatever it is inside of there, you can't get them out of the garage without removing or, disturbing the barrier. For the motor, essentially, we designed it for the motorbike market because motorbikes are so easy to steal. Pick them up on the back of a van, they're gone. And also Pat's background, he's a biker, and that's sort of his area of expertise. So that's where we've focused our efforts is securing the motorbikes. That's the product in a nutshell, if you like. And then off the back of that, we developed a very similar system for a shed. So we do a Guardsman shed version. Recently, start of this year, we developed a ground anchor, which has just received the Sole Secure Diamond ground anchor rating, which is the best test that they do, which is brilliant. And we offer a range of smart security from Zovi, which are basically padlocks which have a built-in alarm system inside of them, as well as a smart function. So when they're disturbed, the padlock itself sends a message to the user's phone telling the user that it's been disturbed. So you can react and obviously come out and or take whatever action you need, police, or I know some people have a nice big baseball bat, but whichever they choose.
Because they like baseball, obviously, for no other reason.
Yeah, of course. Right by the door.
Wow, so you're basically, I mean, I take it the padlock, obviously that's a mobile security system, isn't it? You can take that with you when you have to go into town, if you're going on tour, things like that.
Yeah, the smart function only works at your home. It connects to your home Wi-Fi, but the alarm system still works out and about. Yeah, definitely.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice one. Awesome. So what's the plans then? What's the future plans? Anything that you can talk about?
I was thinking about this question today because I've watched a few of your podcasts, and it's a question that comes up. It's to continue to grow, really. Our challenge over the last 8 months, obviously taking COVID out of it, have been basically getting people to know what it is that we do. And because it's such a unique product, there's no other garage security barrier out there on the market. It's almost our challenge has been to try and get people to find us and search for us and know what to search for. That's been our challenge, which we're trying to overcome by doing, marketing and things like that online. We've got a few shows coming up. So not this weekend, next weekend we're at the Classic Car Show. I know it's not bikes, sorry guys, but it's a Classic Car Show at the NEC. And then in December, we've got the Motorcycle Live Show again at the NEC, which is the 9-10 day big massive one for us. So Yeah, we
Nice.
want to get out there and show people the products in person. I think it's a different conversation from somebody seeing a video or a picture online to what it is in person and actually feeling and seeing the product. I mean, we saw you at the Richie Vida's Wild Bad. And I think the reaction from people there was fantastic, actually seeing it and feeling it for themselves. It was, it's much more significant in person than compared to what it is just online. So I guess that's been our challenge.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's been our challenge. And outside of that, it's just getting more products out there, helping more people hopefully protect their pride and joys.
Yeah. I was surprised seeing because I'd heard about it, and then actually seeing the product in like Richie's vids, TMS vids, and Lamb Chops, people like that. Yeah. When you actually see it, it's a substantial bit of kit, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not like some 2-bit little arm that comes over. It's a substantial bit of kit for sure. It's impressive, man. Does the job.
It was funny, Bruce, at the start, when we first started the business and obviously doing some marketing on Facebook and things, we had a few pictures, original pictures, and you get the comments saying, it's a fishing rod, that and the other. And all I would do is, come down and have a look at it for yourself, and you make your own mind up then. But yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, so you mentioned the NEC. You're there. Are you there? I take it you're there for the whole 9 days. It's 9 days, isn't it?
It's 9 days. Yeah, I think 4th to the 12th of December.
Cool. Do you know what hall you're going to be in? What stand?
Oh, good. I thought you were going to ask me that. Yeah, I'll put a post on follow us on Instagram, Image4Security. There'll be a post in the next few days.
No, I'm there. I'm definitely there on the 4th and the 5th. So I'll come see you anyway, and
please do, Bru.
We'll tag you in some socials.
Yeah,
so folks, if you're going to the bike show, I know loads of you are going to the bike show this year. Make sure you pop to the Image4Security stand and give Dave a shout. Right, mate. Questions. I'm sure you are waiting eagerly for the questions.
Please.
As usual, whacked it out across the socials, on my Patreon and across Instagram, Facebook, and you guys have risen to the challenge. We've got some questions to go ahead. So we'll go Patreon first, over to the clan, patreon.com/TeapotOne. First one, Chris Murphy. Hi guys, hope all is well. My question, Dave, what's the charity about and how did you get involved? Now this is your incredible 5K every day for a year.
That's it, yeah.
Sorry, what was the name of the chat? Speed of Sight, isn't it?
Speed of Sight. Yeah, fantastic charity. So I'll start by telling you what the charity does. The charity is run by two guys called Mike and John. Mike is a blind guy who hasn't let that stop him from doing anything in life. He's an incredible guy. John is as well. But Mike is... I think it's 9 world records, speed world records that he holds across land and sea. So the guy...
Really?
Yeah. The guy basically sets records in, I think he's got the fastest car, the fastest boat, the fastest lorry, and a whole load of other ones. And I know he's doing another one next year, but I can't say too much about that one. But essentially they allow disabled people, blind people, all sorts of different range of people and children as well to experience the joy of riding or driving a motor car around a racetrack.
Mega.
And I've been to one of the track days and it's incredible. These guys.
Where's that? Is that all over the UK? Sorry to interrupt there. Is that all over the UK they do it, or one circuit in particular?
Yeah, their home circuit is up in Wigan, Three Sisters, but they've done it in a load. They did Silverstone about a month ago.
Wow.
Only a small charity. And basically I heard about them through a friend at the start of lockdown. When was that? The end of 2020. And basically I had a chat with John, phenomenal guy. He told me about what they did. And basically all their funding from people, as soon as lockdown hit, just went down the pan. So I basically set out and decided to do the challenge, which has been crazy, good fun, hard. I'll be honest, I injured myself last month. So I need to do an extra month at the end because I was out for a month injured with my ankle. So I need to carry on and do it until the end of January 2020.
So explain to people what it is that you're doing. What is your challenge?
Yeah, so I set out to run 5K a day every day for a year. That was the challenge, and just try and raise awareness and money for the guys at Speed of Sight. So yeah, awesome. I mean, you helped out as well in January doing 5K of rowing. Yeah.
You contacted me out the blue and told me about what you were doing, and
I basically did. I saw you were getting was it teapot trim or something? You called it
trim teapot, yeah. Beast Bruce, yeah. The hashtags people sort of just adopted, and that was it, really. Yeah. It's a shame. I let that slip. I was doing that till about March, April time.
Yeah,
and then it's the old adage, you know. I was right into it 5 days a week, and then there was just 1 week as sort of COVID started to not dwindle, but as life started to come back a little bit, and you know, companies started to do a bit of business. All of a sudden, I had things to do during the week, and it was like, you know, all over the UK, I was riding all over the place.
Yeah.
So there was about a week where I just didn't train, and then that week, God, it ended up being about 4 months. I think I maybe trained once in 4 months. It's terrible.
It's that routine, isn't it? It's just getting out of the routine, and then
I've still not got back to it now.
Yeah, it's a killer. It's a killer. But no, I appreciate your efforts as well and joining in. And I think quite a few of your clan also joined in and tagged me in things. So yeah, brilliant. Big thanks to them as well. Brilliant. I think we've raised about £1,800 now across.
Mega.
Yeah, which is great stuff. Yeah. So
how can people donate?
We've got a website. Just type in. I think it's called Just Giving Speed of Sight 5K challenge. If they search that on Google, it'll come up, and you'll see my ugly mush. In a rather tight red top.
I'll put links down below, folks. If you're listening to the podcast, check out the show notes, and if you're watching the vid, have a look at the description. I'll put links there to Dave's
brilliant
Just Giving page.
I appreciate it.
Right, next one then. Will Carroll, greetings from Dublin. Great to see you back. My question for you both is, this is a deep one. Which of the 7 deadly sins, pride, greed, anger, envy, lust, gluttony, and sloth, have you committed the most? Cheers, gentlemen. Cheers, Will. Wow. Okay. Would you like to go first?
Say again, you go first or me go first?
Either or, whatever you fancy.
Read the 7 out again, Bruce, sorry.
Right. Pride, greed, anger, envy, lust, gluttony, or sloth.
Bloody hell. Probably say anger.
Yeah.
Probably anger from following quite a decent football team, but yeah, anger's probably the one. Following sport.
You've got a bit of a red hair tinge to your beard there. There's Celtic blood in there, isn't there?
Somewhere there is. You're right, Bruce, you're right. It's got to be anger, yeah. How about yourself?
I'm looking at all of them and thinking, I pretty much fire all of them all the time, to be honest.
An hourly basis? Or?
Yeah, definitely. Gluttony for sure. Sloth, I don't know about you, but I find I swing from one extreme to the other, where I'm just all go, and literally you work all the time, every hour at God sends. I'm juggling as many balls in the air as I possibly can. And then there's other times when it's almost like I've just switched off, and I can either sleep or just sit and do nothing for days. And you really have to pull your finger out your arse to get back into motion again and get going.
I find if I have like a certain deadline or a target, and then as soon as I get to that target, I just go, and then, day or two just doing nothing, like you said.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the same for you, obviously, like going out riding and, doing a TV shows, that'll probably be like full on for, I don't know, a week, and then it's bang, hits you.
That's it. Yeah. You find I'll just take a day off, and then I might take the day off, and then I just find it really hard to get back up to speed. So before you know it, that day is really 2, maybe 3, and then all of a sudden you're up against the deadline trying to get the next video out, and you're like, oh no.
That's it. Yeah. I'm the same.
I think probably. I think I'm bad for sloth at times, and I'm bad for. Ooh, I would think it would be between envy and pride, probably. I think.
Yeah.
I think they're the probably. I think because envy, I have to check myself a lot because I find myself looking at other people that maybe have attained something that I'm aiming for. I want that, and I do become very envious of it, and you're like, I want that, I want that, I want that, but you can't be like that, can you? You've got to appreciate what you have.
Yeah, can I ask? Is that to do with like the YouTube social sort of world that you are in?
Yeah, I think definitely now. Because that's a metric that this niche, this market that I'm now in, that's what you're measured on.
Yeah.
Your subscribers, your followers, your views. That's ultimately what you're measured on by by other people and by companies that you might be doing some business with. So
I can appreciate.
Although I'm very lucky that I have a very, very engaged sort of community for my level of subs. I shouldn't really be able to do this full time, but I can because I have a very engaged community and I've got tremendous support on Patreon and, people buy the merch and they come on my tours. And so through that, I'm very lucky. I'm very lucky. But then you look at people that have got 150, 200,000 subs or more. And I'm like, I want that. I want that,
Yeah.
But
absolutely.
I do find myself having to check myself a lot about that and just go, no, like realize what you got.
Yeah,
you're doing well with what you got. Just stick to what you have and what you enjoy and what you are comfortable with, and just grow from there.
That's it. Yeah. Because I think when we started as well, we were sort of too. I would say we're impatient and we wanted results quicker than they were than reality. And it's like, no, look, you got to just keep believing in it, and believe in the product, believe in the process, believe in what you're doing. And just let it build naturally and organically.
Definitely.
I guess, similar lines to, I guess, not similar lines, no, totally different lines, but in the same sort of process.
Yeah, but we're still both growing a business, aren't we? Ultimately, at the end of the day, there's similarities there for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, good question, that Will. Very good question. Yeah. Right, next one then. Stuart Bailey. Hi, Dave and Bruce. If you were given the responsibility of designing a banner for a major UK exhibition at, say, the NEC or the Excel, what message would you send to attendees? Would the message be any different if it was sent back in time to a younger you? Bloody hell, they're deep this week, aren't they? So, you've got to design a banner for an exhibition. Yeah. And what message do you want to send to people?
Is it like an exhibition for what? For me?
That's the thing,
bike,
a
motorbike exhibition? Is it something to do with us?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not too sure what the question is.
Yeah, because you could go down the moral, sort of a moral message, couldn't you? Yeah. But what's the point of doing that if you're at a motorcycle exhibition? You'd want something related to your business, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Let's narrow this down a bit.
Yeah.
Let's say a message for life, a life message. So take it out of the motorcycle sector.
Sure.
Let's say we're going to some, I don't know, mental health exhibition or mindfulness. That's the buzzword these days, isn't it? Right. So what message would you want to send out to people?
Okay. I would probably say don't care what other people think, and just if you believe in it and if you think it's the right thing to do, just do it, and don't be scared of doing that either. So, if you've got an idea that you believe in, and don't listen to the noise as well. Don't listen to what others say and believe and think and want to poke at you. Just go for it. 100%. Just go for it. I'm a big believer in, 100% or no percent. So if you're going to do it 100%, and don't, if I'm allowed to swear, don't fuck around.
Of course you can, no problem.
Yeah. Or another one, a previous boss of mine, Jet, said, just fucking do it. That was always the motto. So that's what I would probably say to myself. What about you?
I'm almost identical to that for sure. Just stick be true to you, stick to what you believe in, what you know. I think the ultimate thing is you've got to believe in what you're doing, because if you don't, you've got to have conviction in it, haven't you? And really believe in it and have the integrity behind it, because if you don't, nobody else is going to believe it, because people aren't stupid. That's something I've definitely figured out. People aren't stupid and they sniff out bullshit very, very easily. So if you're trying to pull the wool over people's eyes and you're trying to bullshit people, then people sniff that out and you lose your integrity then. People won't believe anything you do in the future. They won't believe in what you're saying at the moment. So, 100%.
I'd also add, Bruce, just having fun as well, making sure that you're having fun. You can't be doing things that aren't fun. So that would be my message.
Definitely. It's very easy, isn't it? Especially when it's your baby, when it's your business. It's very easy to lose track of the fact that you should be having fun whilst you're doing this. You can't have fun all the time, I appreciate. Sometimes maybe you can, but you know, the reason you're not working for the man, the reason you're not out there working for somebody else is because you want the freedom. You want you believe in what you're producing, don't you? So you're now self-employed and you're living the dream ultimately. But you've got to make time to have fun and remember why you're doing it, for sure. Because there's no point otherwise, is there?
Otherwise, you're just running around like a headless chicken, or you're back on the treadmill. You just I think that's very,
I've been guilty of that. I've definitely been guilty of that, where I almost lost the passion for riding bikes, because I was so focused thinking I've got to produce content. And I was spending my life sat in a dark office editing like all the time. And I was hardly ever getting out on a bike. I'd maybe get out once or twice a month, maybe. And you suddenly think, hang on a minute, this is not what I signed up for.
No.
I need to get back out there and enjoy
your passion in your biking, and it's, you've got to do it. You just got to do it.
Yeah, definitely. There's a nice little caveat that Stuart chucked in here. He said, would the message be any different if it was sent back in time to a younger you?
I think my message would have been sent to a younger me. So what was the question? Was the question sort of, what would my younger
what message would you send to attendees? And then he said, if this was sent to you, say 15 years ago or 10 years ago for yourself, you know, say in your 20s, if you had this option to get out there and send a message to people, do you think the message you would send people, say in your 20s, would be different to the message you're sending people now?
No, I don't think so, no.
Do you know?
No, it would be the same. It would be the same. Hard work, make sure you enjoy it, 100% or no percent. I think I've been fairly consistent throughout my life, as in what I'm trying to focus on. Whatever I'm doing at that point is 100% of my energy. And if I lose track, or if I lose sort of concentration on it, then it's not the right thing to be doing anymore. And I think I've almost got like an internal switch. If I switch off, it means that I'm done with that. If that makes sense.
No, I think I'm similar to that.
Yeah, it's almost that 100 or no or zero mentality. I think
I have definitely changed from me in my, I would say definitely me in my 20s to me now late 30s into my now mid 40s now. I have definitely changed as a person, predominantly through, I would say, travel brought the biggest change in me, I would say, for sure.
Yeah.
Before that, I was very cut and dry. I was very black and white about everything. You know, everything was just logic to me.
Yeah.
That's just the way it was. And I didn't, you know, I was not somebody to like question the spiritual side of life. Or if somebody came out to me and started, I don't know, coming out and talking about the afterlife and everything like that, I'd just be like, don't be ridiculous. You're dead. You're in the ground. That's it. Done. It's done. We're biological cells. We're done. Whereas now, as I've got older, as I'm getting older, I definitely find my mind is a lot more open to just various different things, for sure. Yeah. Definitely. I think I'm definitely much more of a hippie now than I was.
And do you think that's what the traveling's done to you?
I think so. Yeah. I think getting out, mixing with lots of different people from lots of different backgrounds and cultures and religions and stages in life, you know, people with, you go to some countries and people have wealth that you would never believe. And then you also have people who literally have nothing. They own what they're stood there talking to you in. That is their entire life, is what they have on them at that moment, and whatever they can beg, borrow, plead, steal, whatever they can get. And I think you see that no matter what stage in life people are at, most people are the same. You know, most people are decent people. And again, it doesn't matter what a person believes in as a god, as, you know, what political persuasion people come from. Most people, ultimately, when it comes down to it, are all the same. They're just the good people. You know, they'll help if they can help. They want to look after their family. They just want to get on with life and deal with things. And that was something that I'd never really been exposed to much in life, really. Yeah. I think even in the old Bill, you experience a lot of different situations and a lot of different people in extreme situations, but nothing to the extent that just traveling, you know, throws at you. And by traveling, I mean like overland travel, you know, not flying in and going to some tourist hotel and doing the tourist things, but actually living, breathing, smelling, feeling a country as you move through it. That was big lessons for me. Yeah.
I bet that trip was amazing, and it did opened your eyes, did it? Yeah.
Massively changed me. Absolutely changed me. Totally changed me.
Yeah, recommend it to anyone.
Totally. Yeah. I always say I'll try not, folks. I know I always make a thing about this. Oh, he's talking about the bloody world trip. But if you get the option, if it's something you want to do and you get the option to do it, just do it. Just do it.
I was fortunate enough at uni to meet a bunch of, we had a really interesting second year house where I had 3 French, an Italian and a Singaporean, and I was the token sort of English guy. And meeting them, different backgrounds to me, obviously going traveling to each of their countries and meeting the families and stuff. I think that it's that traveling and seeing different cultures and meeting different people and almost trying to see it through their eyes that sort of opened yours and opened your mind to go look. In certain situations, I'm so fortunate to be in the place that I am, and it definitely like sort of humbles you and reminds you of what you've got sometimes, as well as understanding and learning from different places and cultures. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. It breaks barriers down. I think it's the best form of breaking barriers down. Any kind of barriers, political, religious, just social, anything. It's a great leveler for everybody. Yeah. Especially I found for me, traveling and finding myself needing people's help. You know, when you find yourself, I don't know, I flooded the engine, you know, I'm doing a water crossing, I flooded my engine. So you're totally at the will of strangers that are around about you. You know, effectively I'm dead in the water.
Yeah. It's amazing how many just
and people just help.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. They don't need to. They could just carry on. Yeah.
But I think maybe sometimes we're sort of guilty of doing that. Sometimes, you know, like when you hear an alarm going off down the road or whatever, you just bloody hell, and another bloody alarm going off. But actually, you know, what's going on? Yeah.
It's something I've tried to bring that back to my normal everyday life here in the UK. That open my eyes a bit more to those that need help. You know, so if somebody does need some help, make sure you offer it, or at least make sure they're okay, or you know, just do something rather than carry on going. You know, it's very easy to do that, isn't it?
Oh, it's far easier to do that than actually stop.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's a good one, that, Stuart. God, we've had 2 massively deep questions straight out the gate, haven't we? Right, next one. Ravenshead Rider. Hello to you both and hope all is well. Have you had the choice between Cadbury? Here we go. Have you had the choice between Cadbury's or Galaxy chocolate? Which one would you choose? This is just, there's no competition here for me.
No, go on. I'm going to guess
Cadbury's.
Cadbury. Yeah,
Cadbury's, but the British Cadbury's, not that American muck.
The Kraft. No.
Oh yeah. No, I don't like the American, their version of Cadbury's. It's not the same as ours.
What Cadbury selection is your favourite?
Whole nut.
Love
whole nut.
Right.
Yeah. What about you?
I like a fridge cold caramel.
Mm-hmm.
What's it called? The caramel one.
Okay.
That's the one for me.
I'm with you in the fridge. I do like the chocolate in the fridge.
It can't be not room temperature. It's got to be cold.
My wife looks at me like I'm some sort of freak when I put the chocolate in the fridge. She's just like, "Why are you doing that?" It's like, well, of course you do. It's what you do. Yeah, it's got to be in the fridge.
Exactly. It's it's not a question, is it?
Cheers for that one, Dave. Thank you. That's Ravenshead Riders, Dave. Jeff Armstrong. Hi, Dave and Bruce. I need to get fit. As like many of us 50 or older guys, it's getting harder to keep the timber off. I'd like to start running, and I've thought about the Couch to 5K app. Does Dave recommend them as a good way to start running? And if so, what app is good? Tell
him to give me a message. Yeah, give me a message and I'll talk him through it. I'm not familiar with the Couch to 5K app. But we.
Are you not?
No, I'm not. No. There is an app. Yeah. Have you used it?
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah. I've done it twice, and it's got me from not really being able to run, I would say, half a mile without feeling sick to, you can do the 5K.
Oh, okay.
It's good.
Well,
yeah, it's good.
Fair enough. Yeah, use the app. Yeah, sounds good.
So how did you do it then? How did you get into it?
I just started. Yeah.
Just got on with it.
I've always been quite sporty, and played sport all through uni. Younger as a younger kid, I've always played badminton, football, cycling. So, it's just one of them. I love playing sport and being active. So, I just started the running. But if there's an app, go use it. Yeah, sounds like a good one. And but definitely
all right,
send me a message. What was the guy's name? Sorry.
It's Jeff Armstrong.
Jeff, give me a message, yeah.
Right. Jeff, again, if you're listening to the podcast, look at the show notes. If you're watching a video, check out the description. There'll be links to all Dave's socials there. So probably Instagram's the best one to contact you, is it?
Instagram, give me a shout on Instagram, that'd be great.
I'll leave them all. There's a website as well. So if you don't have any socials, Jeff, I know there are some people out there who aren't on social media. Check out the website and you'll be able to drop Dave an email. So not with the Couch to 5K then, because obviously you weren't familiar with that, but are there any other sort of apps that you use then, fitness-wise?
I've got one of the Apple Watches, the iWatch, which is pretty good at recording everything straight onto your phone. I know a few people use Strava, which is like basically a bit like Facebook, so you can swap and share what you've done in the week and what sort of runs you're doing. They're the two main ones that I've heard of. Is there any that you've used for your stuff?
I just started using when I got into the rowing, I was using the iFitness app to do their rowing workouts. They have like 10, 20 and 30-minute rowing workouts. So I was just using them. Yeah. Because it's good to have, they're all video based. So you've got somebody there motivating you to keep going, because if it's 9 times out of 10, if it's left to me, I'd get out there and go, I'm not feeling this, and that'd be that. I'd be back inside having my breakfast. But when you've got this app with somebody on there shouting at you, telling you to do something, that works well with me. I know it doesn't work well with all people, but with me it does, definitely.
Well, one thing I would say to Jeff, or a piece of advice, would be if he's trying to lose weight, I would say focus on just one thing at a time. So if it's, you're running, focus on your running for a period of time before you start focusing on your diet. Because if you focus on too many things like your actual running and your diet at the same time, you'll find it's really tough. And after a couple of weeks, you'll probably burn out and give up. So I would say do a period of time where you're just focusing on your running, say 3 to 4 weeks, get that. Make sure that you're seeing improvements and, keep upping your running each week, and then look at tinkering your diet, maybe after a few weeks of getting into it. That's personal advice from myself, but everybody, I think everybody reacts differently to how they get into it. So just see what works best for you, and just, don't be scared of changing things. That's what I would say.
I think my biggest failure or point of failure when I go through the stage of, right, I've got to do something about this. I'm a disgrace. Let's get it on. Let's do it. And I'm all in. I'm fully committed, and I'll do the diet. I'll redo my diet, and I'll be out working out 5 days a week. Boom, we're in there, and I'll maybe be in it 3 or 4 weeks, and I start to see I'm losing a bit of timber. I'm thinking happy days. Yeah. After about 6 weeks, I'm fucked. My body is just so tired, and it's generally at that point it's just gone. Then I'm like, I need food. I need some food.
Yeah.
So, that's generally what happens with me after about 6 weeks.
Yeah, I'm no scientist, but I think that's like your different energy systems in your body changing over. So you're not using you've used all your fat in your easy to get fat areas. Yeah, but it's definitely something to do with your energy systems and where you keep and store your fat. So, I probably suggest doing a bit of research, maybe, and just seeing what there is out there. And don't go hell for leather too quick, because then you have. Another one is injuries. If you have never done anything before, and you go out and do a 5-10K, you're going to get injured, and then you'll be put off for months. So, just take it nice and steady, and incremental improvements is all you need.
Yeah, that's why I like the rowing, actually, is because it's not, it's not impact. It's nice and easy on your joints doing the rowing, and surprisingly, it's a full body workout.
It's bloody hard, isn't it, rowing? I mean, I did a bit as a kid. Flipping out, you feel it across your back.
Yeah, for me, it's my forearms. I think because I spend my life sat at the desk now, I'm not using my arms, and I really feel it in my forearms.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
I'm maybe gripping
it's a bloody good workout, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Do you do any of the sports, Bruce?
Not now. I used to be a big rugby man. I was heavily into my rugby growing up, but I haven't. I don't think Have I played in my 30s? I might have had a couple of games in my early 30s, and then
I could see you on the rugby pitch, Bruce. You're a bloody mountain of a man. I didn't realise how big you were until we met you at the Ritchie's earlier in the year. Yeah, I'm not small. I'm 6 foot, and you were towering over me. I was like, bloody hell.
Yeah, there's a wee bit more of me than there should be, though. That's the sad thing. But well, never mind.
It doesn't matter as long as you're enjoying yourself. Back to that fun.
Yeah, exactly. Jeff, make sure you check out the notes down below and drop Dave a line, mate, and he'll give you some advice there. John Boycott, question: why security? What prompted you to create and work for Image4Security products? We were kind of touching on that at the start, but
we did. It was almost by accident. I'll be honest. It was almost by accident. Pat, the other chap, my father-in-law. It was his idea, and then we just sort of developed it from there, really. So it wasn't a choice, if you like. He could have invented some other product and it would have been brilliant, and we would have went down that route. But I think we saw a gap in the market, or he definitely saw a gap in the market. Basically figured out how we could improve the current offering, of the standard ground anchor chain padlock. And making it simple and easy to use. And that's how we sort of went along with the Guardsman, and hopefully found our little niche within the security market. And then we've sort of escalated our range from there. So,
So in terms of your marketing things, I know you've reached out to the sort of influencer market. Have you gone for the likes of MCN and the established magazines and people like that?
Yeah, we featured a couple of times in MCN now. Richard Newland, who's the editor at MCN, he installed one himself and did an article on Moby. He installed it himself and did a write-up of that. There's been a couple of other magazines that we've done work with as well. And then we've also Bmoto. Matt at Bmoto has been a great help. The insurance company. Matt's got a Guardsman in his garage, and he's put his name to all of our products, which has been fantastic for us. So
awesome. They're one of my sponsors.
They are, yeah. Oh, fantastic, yeah. I think they sponsor a couple of the influencer guys now. Yeah. So so I guess we saw like a sort of a gap in the market in terms of that as well. So your ground anchor chain padlock, which is your standard security for a motorbike, it's been around for years and years and years, and nothing's really ever changed. So we want to do things differently. We want to improve on what there is already on the market and make things simpler and easier to use. Down on the floor, messing around with a padlock and a chain after you've come back from a ride is a bit of a problem. So the Guardsman is waist height, lock it within seconds, and it locks all your bikes up. So it's super simple to use, and
it's like a pneumatic arm, isn't it? Folks, if you can imagine, it's just like a pneumatic telescopic arm, isn't it? Watch one of our videos and you'll see it. But I'll be honest, Bruce, that one part in all the development took the longest. It took us about 3 months to get that right. With sort of trying one bit, having another. It's basically a gas strut on the front. Our first design was having 2 gas struts, so one on the front, one on the back. One pushes it up while the other one suppresses the movement backwards. Yeah. We changed it. We altered it. We did different lens sizes, blah 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 blah. And then one day, this sounds really stupid, but one day we're speaking to this chap and he goes, "Just do me a favor and turn the gas strut upside down." So we've been doing it all the time this way, and he said, "Just turn it round to that way." We did it, and it just operated in a totally different way to what we'd ever seen before, and that was like the icing on the cake, if you like. Is that the way? Is that a case of like he must have had experience with pneumatics? Then did he?
Oh, the guy, the guy that we were speaking to. Yeah. Because we were at the we were about to get an expert in to come and have a look at it and tell us what we needed to do. And by chance, he said, "Just flip it around." It's one of them. If we'd have done that 3 months earlier,
I bet it'd been bugging him when he's looking at it, going, "That's the wrong way. That's the wrong way. It's the wrong way."
Yeah, exactly. And it was like one of them. If we'd have done that 3 months earlier, we would have saved 3 months. We weren't to know. Yes. So there you go.
That's what it's all about, though, isn't it? R&D.
Trial and error.
That's it. Next one, Charles Callard. Evening, guys. How you doing, Charles? Question for both. If you could go back in time and ride any bike or drive any car, where and what would it be? Ooh. Ooh.
That's a good question.
Okay. Any bike and car in any place.
I'll let you go first. I'll let you go first, Bruce, and I'll have a little think.
Blimey. Any bike or car in any place. Well, I always remember the Magnum PI Ferrari. Is that the Testarossa? That red one, the Ferrari Testarossa?
Yeah.
Remember Magnum PI?
I don't know what Magnum PI is. What's that?
Oh, God, I'm showing my age here, aren't I? There'll be people screaming at the radios and TVs at the moment. Magnum PI was, do you know Tom Selleck, the actor? Do you remember Tom Selleck? He's probably too old for you, isn't he? God, how old am I? It was an American, he was an American private eye and it was based, I think it was based in Hawaii or Honolulu or one of those sort of islands. Yeah. And he drove around in a bright red Ferrari Testarossa. So I always remember that car, and it was like, that is the coolest car ever. I think cool. I think it would be a Ferrari Testarossa, and I would like to drive it. Oh, blimey. Where? Best driving. Ooh. I mean, I always say Spain, don't I? I need to pick something different because it's a car. It's a different type of driving.
Yeah. Well, what about Italy? Being a Ferrari, you've got to be somewhere in Italy, surely.
Yeah, actually. I did some of Italy I did some of Italy on the Switzerland trip recently, up in the north of Italy. And my only experience of riding in Italy before that was on the world trip. And I didn't go anywhere near where I was on this last trip. And I wasn't that impressed with the roads in Italy. However, this bit I've just done was amazing. So there you go. Northern Italy, Ferrari Testarossa.
I'll probably join you in some sort of Italian sports car through. It's the Dolomites, isn't it? Was it the Dolomites that you went through somewhere? Yeah.
I know. I don't think we were quite at there. I just done the. Oh, good God! Come on! I've had a brain fart. Famous zigzag road, Switzerland and Italy. All the 48 hairpins. Oh my God! Forgotten the name of it. How can I have forgotten the name of it? Famous road. Just zigzags all the way. 48 hairpins.
There's a big mountain called the Zhao. Not the Zhao, is it? No. It is the. How have I forgotten the name of this? Shall I Google it?
Yeah, go on, please.
Go on.
I think it's 48 hairpins, Switzerland or Italy.
48.
It's famous. Pass. Sorry, folks. Amuse yourself. You'll all be shouting and screaming at this moment.
What was it going to be then? No.
I think if you just put best driving road, it's bound to come up in the top 10.
Okay.
It's like a bucket list one. Stelvio. It's the Stelvio Pass.
Oh, the Stelvio Pass.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Is that not the Dolomites? No, that's top of northern Italy.
Yeah.
Somewhere around there, isn't it?
I thought the Dolomites were a little bit further. Maybe I'm wrong. I thought the Dolomites were a little bit further down. But we just done the Stelvio. We'd gone up the Stelvio, come over the other side. And then we just followed the border basically with Switzerland. Just followed it all along there. Yeah. Is that the Dolomites there?
It's Italy, yeah.
Oh,
yeah. This sounds daft, Bruce, but there's a cycling challenge that goes through the Dolomites called the Maratona DLES Dolomites, which is like this. It's the equivalent of a bike version of the London Marathon. And as a kid, I was fortunate enough to do it a couple of times. So it's like 140 kilometers of cycling up. There's about 5 or 6 of these passes, and you go up one side and down the other side. And I think it's the Stelvio, as you're coming down through it's off the top of one of the climbs. I can't remember which one off the top of my head, but there's about a 20-minute descent. And if you're into, bikes and all that, there's about a 20-minute descent where you don't touch your brakes and you just weave in left to right, and it's going through this absolutely unbelievable, just sort of a mountain crevice, and it's fucking hell, it's ridiculous. Yeah, so anybody, it's well worth a trip.
Do you know what was getting me? Normally, wherever I go on the bike and when you're up in the mountains, you'll always see cyclists. You always see them and walkers and stuff up there. And I always think to myself with the cyclists, how the hell do you pedal up these mountains? Because they're at some height. What I noticed there around the Dolomite part, and particularly most of Switzerland, is the people that are doing this like land cross-country skiing.
Yes,
they're on like big rollerblades, and they're going up these massive mountain passes. Must have thighs like that.
They're insane. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. Because it's massive skiing season up there. I think we do it in June, July time, and it's some years you get this like bit of snow on the out on the side of the road, and you can see in the winter you can go, bloody hell, that'll be fantastic for skiing, and that's exactly what they're training for, isn't it?
That's something I've never done. I've never skied in my life.
Me neither.
Have you not?
I was only chatting yesterday about it with someone, but no, I never. I'll be honest. I'm scared of breaking my leg. I know a few people who have gone and broke their leg. Yeah.
My brother did it in his teens, and he blew his knee out quite badly, and that just put me off. From then on, I was like, no, I'm not going to do that, because he was like 5 years older than me.
Why would you bother?
Yeah. Absolutely. Right. Charlie had a different question. He said, hope you're both well, and Bruce, keep up the amazing work. Makes my night shifts much easier. Oh, so I thought you had another question. I thought you had a 2-part question. Cheers, Charles. Glad you're enjoying it. Right. Next one. Mark Fulcher. There we go. Right. Hey up, me docs. Glad to see Bru Time is back on the agenda. Appreciate you've been busy. So a couple of questions. Dave, How much Sudocrem have you gone through for the old nappy rash? Can only imagine the sort of regime you've adopted takes its toll between the thighs.
I haven't, to be honest. No, zero.
No way.
Yeah,
seriously.
No. Yeah, no, I don't. I got these like little night shorts, obviously like the running ones, and they've got pretty good lining in them. So yeah, no Sudocrem needed so far.
Jesus, I think I'd be setting fires left, right, and centre.
Yeah.
So apart from that injury with your ankle, wasn't it? Was it your ankle?
It was, yeah, that's right.
Have you had any other injuries along the way?
So not serious ones, not stopping ones. Yeah, that was my biggest worry at the start, was being injured, because I've always been quite susceptible to injury over my years. So I think it's been down to doing the runs and then coming back and doing really good stretching. So a mate of mine, Greg, gave me a 5-minute stretching routine that I've done religiously after each run. So I think it's down to the stretching more than anything that's helped me sort of prevent the injuries. So yeah, I definitely suggest to anybody starting out as well that stretching, you might think it's one of them things that you just ignore, but it's 100% worth doing, just to prevent anything.
The older you get, the more you appreciate a good stretch, for sure. Like even now, I'm not even going out and doing any exercise, but I'll wake up in the morning, especially if I've been sat at my desk editing, all the previous day or a couple of days, and I've got a stand-up desk now so that I can stand as well as sit.
Yeah.
But your hamstrings just get so tight, and then that kills your back, doesn't it?
Yeah. So it's crazy.
Just the benefit of having a little stretch in the morning.
It's crazy how they're all linked. If you've got a problem here, it's probably over here that caused it.
Yeah,
it's crazy. But
it only gets worse as you get older, man, I tell you.
Yeah. So no Sudocrem. No, not yet.
So do you know how far are you keeping a tally of how far you've ran so far?
I'll be honest, I've not kept the tally. I could probably work it out, but I've not kept the tally so far. It's something silly. It's something really silly. But yeah, no, I don't know. I could probably work it out really quick.
So are you doing like 7 days a week then, or like 5 days a week? It's just every single day?
No, every day. I didn't run in October for the month of October because of my ankle. So I'm going to do the month of October in January next year. But yeah, it's non-stop. Just keep running. Yeah. So I do it I do it in the gym or out on the roads so far. Yeah.
How quick are you doing 5K now then? It must just be like a walk in the park now.
Yeah, I don't do it for speed. It's hard. It's much harder. I do probably one fast one every 2 weeks just to sort of not get into the plodding along feel. So I do one fast one every couple of weeks, but then the next probably 3 are really slow. So my fast is about 24 minutes, but then the following 3 will be about just short of 30 minutes. Yeah,
that's chugging along, is it?
Well,
I'll be like an hour and 40 or something.
Yeah, but it's just every day. Yeah, so fast.
Good on you, Jesus.
Yeah.
Where else were we? Right, Mark Fulcher, both of you, given the choice to either run over an Insulate Britain protester or to run over Greta Thunderbird, which one do you choose? I'd take the opportunity in Glasgow this week to plough the lot over, taking my petrol bikes away the planks. We'll not answer that one. Keep up the good work, gents. Dave, credit where credit is due. Quality stuff, my old mucker. Shiny side up, boys. Cheers, Mark. Thanks for that, pal. All right, next one, Martin Rowe. How difficult is keeping up with the thieves with new ways to keep our bikes safe? I ask this question as the security of our bikes is always a controversial subject. That's a good question. So, keeping up with the current trends, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, it's absolutely elephant in the room in terms of owning a bike, and it's always one of those untalked about things is the security of your bike. The honest truth is that if a thief absolutely wants to steal your bike, they will always find a way of getting it. But if you take that away, doing nothing just invites sort of a problem for somebody to come along and take it. I think it was Bennett's or somebody from Bennett's has a quote that said, if you just put a disc lock on it, you know, any sort of lock on it reduces your chances of being stolen by something like 40 or 50%, which is phenomenal. Wow. So our advice is to do something about it. Make it as hard as possible for the thief. You know, the other question that we get asked quite a lot is, what about the grinder? And the honest truth was, with a grinder, is that if the thief turns up with a grinder, they're gonna get it, or they've got the opportunity to use the grinder and cut through any material possible. It's the sad reality of having a grinder. You know, we've been in metalwork fabrication for all our lives. The grinder cuts through pretty much anything that there is. So. But do nothing. I mean, with a grinder, it makes a hell of a lot of noise, and it takes time. So you've got to just make sure it's as hard as possible for them to do that. So if you're going to use a chain, a padlock, and a ground anchor, which is your standard security for a motorbike, it's making sure that chain is off the floor. It's as awkward to get to as possible. And we'd also say that using different layers of security. So it's not just about having a chain anchor and a padlock. It's about having a disc lock. It's about alarming your garage. It's about having garage defenders on the outside. It's about having a guardsman in the front. It's these layers that make it as difficult as possible. Because at the end of the day, the opportunist thief, or your common thief, just wants to get in and get out. They don't want to sort of stand there for 5 minutes trying to tackle all of these different items. So, hopefully that answers the question. But yeah, it's definitely one of those elephants in the rooms is security, and it's not. We're trying to make it as glamorous and as easy to use as possible, but it often is the sad reality of the world we live in today.
That's it, isn't it? Nothing is 100%, is it? And as you said, you just have to make your bike, your goods as unappealing as possible, in terms of, well, it's going to be a damn sight harder to get that one that's got the guardsman, the ground anchor, the disc lock, the chain, cover, even a cover, or that one that's left outside with absolutely nothing on it. Yeah. So which one would you go for? You know,
you want them. It sounds sad, but you want them to break into your garage and go, "Oh, bollocks! There's all this in place. I'll go next door." That's what you want to do.
It's not worth the effort. Yeah.
No, it's not worth the effort and hassle and the potential of being rumbled.
Yeah. You mentioned there you're working with BMoto. Do BMoto offer any particular discounts for the levels of security that a punter has?
Yeah, so all of our products are accredited or supported by BMoto. So if you want to renew your bike insurance, you give them a ring, you tell them you've got a guardsman or any of our products in place, and there's some sort of discount off your insurance premiums, which is, you know,
nice one.
Thanks to Matt and BMoto and the team there for supporting us as a small new business.
Awesome, definitely. Is that recognised throughout the insurance industry then, or is it particular to BMoto?
At the moment, all of our products are by BMoto. We're hoping that we get out to the shows, obviously a big one in December, and get out and speak to the insurers and have conversations with them. Say, look, this is what we do. This is our product range. This is how difficult they are to break into. Would you put your name to our products as well as BMoto? But yeah, currently BMoto are our sole sort of accreditor, if you like. Yeah.
Gotcha. Another reason to go with BMoto, folks.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right, that was Martin Rowe, wasn't it? Pete English. Right, Pete English has a question here. Hi, guys. Hope you're both fitting well. I've had the pleasure of meeting Dave a couple of times now, and he even came to my home and installed my guardsman garage door barrier. I believe I was the guinea pig for the first one to have the alarm fitted. Fantastic bit of kit, and it works a treat. My question: have you booked your testing yet, Dave? If not, it's about time you got on two wheels. Do you not ride at all?
Hi, Pete. the picture that you put on the socials, Bruce, is me on Pete's floor, actually fitting the alarm. So, a little, a little secret is that me and Rob currently are not bikers and we don't ride yet. Pat is the father-in-law. He's the biker. Right. I can see everybody clicking off the clicking off the podcast.
Yeah, you should have mentioned that.
yeah. I was trying to avoid that one, Bruce. But yeah.
Nah, don't be daft. Is it something you think you might do or not?
Yeah. We will at some point. It's just getting around to it, to be honest. We nearly booked it in about 3 months ago. We were seriously considering it. And I think we just got busy with things and projects and work. Like, it's one of them excuses, isn't it? We just get busy. But at some point we will do. I'm sure we will. We're around them all the time now. And we've got to do it, I think. Just so that we can have less awkward conversations with customers when we go out and install.
Yeah, I'm a biker.
Yeah, because we always say, look, we've got a confession. We're not bikers ourselves whenever we go out and install. So yeah, no, we'll become bikers. Hopefully, we'll be allowed back into the group when we get our test.
It was really weird. I'd always wanted to ride a bike, but I'd just never ever done it. And then when I actually went for it and booked my DAS, I was in no way expecting it to have the impact it did have. It was literally like a light bulb went off. Even just doing my CBT, even just being on the little 125 and riding it, it was like, oh, I love this. And then once I was on the bigger bikes, the 500cc ones, doing my DAS, I was just like, I'm loving it. And then I remember passing my big bike test and going to the dealership to pick up my first J6R 600 I'd bought waiting for me. And I remember riding it back from the dealership with this proper 50-50 split. It was a mixture of absolute ecstasy that I'm on this amazing bike and utter sheer terror. I remember being on the M25 in the slow lane at 50 miles an hour, hanging on for dear life, thinking, really? Holy shit, what have I done? I was petrified. And within about 2 weeks, you're literally banging the thing off the top. You know, you're just like, flying around,
screaming it. Yeah.
And it just transformed my life. It totally transformed my life.
What made you initially sort of do it?
It was a promise I made my mum, actually. My mum was passing away from cancer. She was losing her fight with cancer. She'd been fighting cancer for 9 years. And she was living with me while she was going through this treatment. And we were just sat watching telly one day and Long Way Round came on, like on repeat. I'd seen it all before, but it came on and I just started moaning, saying, it's all right for McGregor with all that money and an A-list celeb, blah, 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 blah. And my mum just said, look, you've always spoke about travel. You've never traveled. You've always spoke about riding a bike and you've never ridden a bike, which is partly her fault because she was very anti-bike, and basically I was never allowed one when I was younger. And she just turned around and she said, look, don't get to my stage in life where you face the end and you regret what you've not done. As far as we know, we only get one shot at this. So look after those that you love, but live your life. And that's where my tagline of live your life comes from, is from her saying that. And I literally there and then went online and booked my direct access, and that was it. I passed my test sort of 5 days before she passed away. So she'd elected to go to a local hospice. St. Christopher's in Penge. She didn't want to pass away in my flat, bless her. So she elected to go to this hospice, and I rode that J6R 600 from P&H in Crawley. It's this quite a big famous dealership down this neck of the woods. I picked that up and I rode it to the hospice in my Dionysi 2-piece leathers and walked into the ward, shook the keys and said, I've done it. I've passed my test. So she gave me a big hug and she made me promise that I would do my trip. And the rest is history.
Mate, that's a hell of a story, isn't it?
Yeah. That was, I mean, I love in every way, it changed my life.
I love that live your life as well. Came from her.
Yeah.
That's
yeah. So, it just getting my bike license had the biggest effect on my life in every manner you could think of. It meant, I lost my mum just after that, and then it opened up the world to me. So, yeah.
And it is your life now.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's amazing how things have turned out, because I never ever. This was not in the plan. This was not something I ever thought would happen. You know, I'd be old Bill, and I'd finish my 30 years in the old Bill, and you'd get that pension that you work for, and you know, then you'll start living your life once you've got your pension. And just the way things all worked out, I would say even when, I don't know if you know the backstory as to what led me to do this, but when the initial complaint was made and I was served the investigation notice and put on restriction, I did a review of an S1000RR, and another copper complained to our professional standards about that video. Yeah. And I was put on like restricted duties because of that. And even then, at that stage, I never ever thought I would do this. You know, I never thought I would resign and do this. And loads of people were saying to me, why don't you just resign? Fuck the old Bill off. You know, other old Bill were like, just fuck this off and go and do that. You know, you can make this work. And I was like, no, I'll never be in a position where I can make that a job, a career. And then, it just very quickly, at once, I can't remember when the switch went. I think it was probably my wife. I think my wife was just like, you know, you owe the job nothing anymore. She said, just why don't you go for it? Just go for it. You know, you can always get another job if you need to, but you're not happy doing this. Go for it.
When did you make that jump then from, you know, doing it?
I resigned just under a month before lockdown.
That's like basically the same time as we started.
Yep. Yeah. Pretty much exactly identical. Yeah. I went full-time self-employed. And 3 weeks later, lockdown hit, and I lost two of my sponsors, all my tours. Basically, my income disappeared, and I was just like, "Fuck!" What do you do now?
Yeah, shit. But, I haven't got anything to fall back on.
Yeah. It was.
So was it about January then 2020, or because it lockdown was February, March? Was it?
I think
it was March, start of March.
March, I think March or April.
Yeah.
I think my official last day was it March the 21st or 22nd, or maybe it was April the 22nd, but it was a month before that I left, and basically went, I ain't coming back, and that was it.
Bloody hell. I didn't realise that was the sort of the time frame of it, because we were starting out about the same time. Fucking hell.
I'm looking forward to next year with hopefully, fingers crossed, a full year running at it, full steam ahead, you know. And
you asked me the question earlier, Bruce, what have we got planned for the future? Can I ask you what you've got planned for the next sort of 12, 18 months?
Definitely. Travel. I definitely want to get to the States. And Canada, and I want to do India. That's my sort of two big trips. I want to do a week in the States, or a week in Canada, and a week in India if I can. Yeah. Just trying to meet up with other bikers, YouTubers, all that sort of stuff, the social side of it. Yeah. So I definitely want to try and fit that in, but that comes down to finances at the end of the day. So, you know, if I can make it happen, I'll go for sure. Yeah. My tours, I want to get my tours back up and running, you know, get back to Spain and enjoy that a little bit. I think I'm going to be doing some stuff with Canary Motorcycle Tours. They were a sponsor of mine before COVID hit. So I'm not sure if they're going to come back on board in a sponsor basis, but certainly I'd like to do some stuff with them. They've got a Canaries wing, but also a Slovenian wing, which I still haven't edited. I haven't edited the videos from that from a year and a bit ago. So that's fun. Down in Slovenia, you go down into Croatia, and you can go across into Austria and Italy. Yeah. So it's a nice little place. So I'd like to do some work with them, and then just growing my sort of my own brand, really, and get back to, I used to do quite a lot of talks and bore people about my world trip. So I'd like to, I started to do the odd little talk in schools, you know, and I'd quite like to maybe get back and start doing some stuff like that as well, if I can. Yeah. Get the talks and the presentations going. Yeah, just get back at it, really.
Yeah, nice. Whereabouts in America? Because I'll be honest, I'm getting married next year.
Are you?
And yeah, so I keep saying my father-in-law and brother-in-law. In reality, it's my father-in-law to be and brother-in-law to be.
Right.
So,
Gotcha.
but yeah, we're getting married next year, and I'm going to be doing for the honeymoon the year after. We're hoping to do like a little bit of a West Coast, East Coast, New York, Philadelphia, Boston. Bit of a tour down there, sort of a few days in each, maybe driving.
What are you going to do? I was going to say, are you just going to hire a car or a truck and go?
Hopefully get, the classic, the standard Mustang is the dream.
Oh,
but
awesome.
Yeah, that's the plan anyway. We'll see again. It depends on finances, see what we're up to, and that's the plan though. Yeah. Whereabouts in America will you want to go to?
Well, I think for the first one would probably be down Georgia way, because have you heard of Chase on Two Wheels? He's a big YouTube moto vlogger.
Yeah.
Well, I've had him on the podcast. Lovely fella. So we talked about maybe doing something. So I'd maybe head over there to meet up with him, and then we'll just go on a bit of a road trip. Depends if he can. I haven't discussed the finer details or anything like that with him yet, but I'd certainly love to do a bit of Georgia, because you've got Tail of the Dragon and all the Appalachian Mountains. There's some great biking roads all up through there. So I'd love to go and do some of that. But I mean, America is such a vast and diverse place. There's just so many different types of roads and scenery and people that you can you can go and explore. You
can go from one city to the next and it's totally different. It's bonkers.
Absolutely.
Isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. My wife and I, we've done something very similar to what you've got planned, in that what we started doing was we've got friends. We're lucky to have friends all over the States, really, people that we've been at uni with and worked with and all this sort of stuff. So we would fly into New York and then hire like a big ass truck, a proper big American truck, and then just hit the road. And the first time we went right up in the Northeast through Boston. My wife used to live in Boston. So we went through there, and then all the way up into Maine and across the top, back down through New York State, like Vermont and into New York State, and then back to, it's like a 10-day trip, then back to the airport, drop the truck off, fly home. And then the next time we went a bit further south on the east. So we went down as far as Washington, D.C., and then did all Pennsylvania, and then all up through Cleveland and across to Chicago, because my wife lived there for a while, and she was a nanny. So one of the girls that she used to nanny for was getting married. So we were invited to their wedding. And so that was cool. And that's our plan, basically, is just to keep doing that whenever we can and just do road trips all across the States.
Man.
So
it's just an amazing place, isn't it? I love it. Crazy. Yeah.
I love it.
What's Chicago like? Because I've heard great things about Chicago. We've got an American friend over there. Who's going to be coming to our wedding, and he always says, buddy, you've got to go to Chicago. Chicago's the place.
It's brilliant. Yeah. Brilliant city. If you love your blues and your jazz, it's a great place. It's weird. It's not the city itself is not massive. It's a vast. It covers a vast area, but the actual city bit in the middle isn't as big as I was expecting. But it's great place. We went to Chicago Bears game and everything over there. It was awesome fun.
Oh mate, the sport is unreal, isn't it? It's just brilliant. The whole place. I love it. Yeah. We got.
You've got to embrace the whole American thing over there. You've got to go for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So is that, you said you had family over there?
Yeah. My dad's side of the family, Nan's brother moved over there. Yeah. I think it was my nan. Yeah, my nan's brother, yeah. So, we've got cousins over there and aunties, and we've been over there a few times as kids. And done. You just described there quite a few places that we've been to over the years. So it's ace. Yeah.
Have you ever been to Philadelphia?
No.
Man, that's a great city. That is a great city. I loved it. Yeah, that was one place I went to, and I thought, I think I could live here. For a while anyway. Yeah, loved it. Really nice city.
Yeah, we've done New York, Boston. I think you said Maine. Was it Maine or Maryland at the top?
Yeah,
we've done that. Washington D.C. We've been down there. I can't wait to go back and take the other half. She's never been to America, so I think my plan is Boston, Boston, New York. I think Philadelphia's on the list of places, and then go down to Miami and do like, all the way down and spend a week on the beach at the end. So
Miami is such a cool city. It's just, I mean, it's not America. It's just plainly not America.
Yeah, you see it on all like the TV shows, don't you? Like Miami Ink and stuff like that, and it just looks insane.
Yeah. When I was in Miami, I went to Miami Ink. I went by the shop.
Did you?
And I was proper starstruck because I looked in and is it Oji, the Japanese chap who was like the rookie, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Well, I think he's now like one of the shop managers, and he was there when I put my head in to have a look. He was there.
Shit, I've seen you.
I was proper starstruck. It was like,
mate, we had a similar experience. We had a similar experience. We went to the Orange County Choppers sort of factory, and they've got the
Tootles.
They've got like this show bit where you can walk around it, and then there's like a little slit, like a window slit on the side, and you look through and you can see through to the factory. And I think it was Paul Senior is the dad.
Yeah.
Who shouts about and orders the others around. And you could, as we were standing there, you could see through and like, there he is. There's the man himself. It was just, yeah. It's
that was like awesome. I remember when my boy was wee, my boy was very young, sort of 7, 8. And whenever he came down to stay with me, because I'm not with his mum anymore, but whenever he came down to stay with me, that's all we'd watch was American County Choppers. He loved it. And this is before I was a biker or anything. Yeah, I remember he made me grow the old Mexican tash that Paul Senior had.
That's it. Yeah.
So I remember I had him for about 5 or 6 weeks. My folks lived in Spain at the time, so we went over to their villa. And we were there for about 5 weeks, 6 weeks, all his summer holidays, basically. Yeah. So I took all my leave off work for that one time. And then when I came back to work, I remember walking in, I was on the public order division, and I had this great big, like, Mexican tash. And everyone just sort of looking at me. And then before you know it, all the boys grew them. Everyone was growing them. So
did you have the big sunglasses as well, Bruce?
Obviously, yeah. And the tattoo, where's my tattoo go? Yeah. Got the tattoo, got the whole hog.
Right, brilliant.
It was mega that.
Nah, you've got to go, haven't you? You've got to do it. Just do America.
You got to go all in. Yeah.
Just go and be fat for a couple of weeks and just eat all the food. The food is just a different planet. Oh,
I love it. Obviously, I love it. Yeah.
I'll
tell you one place I really loved over there, Vermont. That is a stunning, it's my sort of place, that. Just woods and mountains, nobody. It was great.
Yeah. One on your recommend list.
Oh, yeah. If you like that, if you like mountains and greenery and sort of seclusion, just and proper like, they call them moms and pop stores, don't they? Like real old traditional little cafes and local shops and that sort of stuff. Yeah. Then Vermont is a place to go.
Is the one. Great. Okay.
It's like it's back in time almost. I loved it. Love that place. Brilliant. Right. Right. We've only got a couple of more questions to go. Nip across. I'm aware of the time here. We'll nip across to Instagram. So that's TeapotOne Insta, I think is my tag. It is, yeah. At TeapotOne Insta is my tag. So what question we have here? I always don't pre-read the questions, Dave, so apologies here. Just so they're a surprise for me as well.
Bruce, I have been looking on the Facebook and Instagram, just having a look what questions there are, yeah. So go on, I think I've read one of these.
Right. I nip through them and I highlight the ones that are just can't wait for this one, that sort of stuff, just so I can scrub them out. Right, Ed on the Edge. Can you ask him what it's been like handling so many shafts and what's been his favourite erection so far? I take it you know Ed.
I do know Ed. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, Ed. He's he works at the shop down the road. Who's just opened a big security shop. Yeah, funny. Well, we call him Big Ed. But yeah, my favourite erection, Ed, is the one in your shop. So there you go, Ed. There's your 50p.
Do you want to give them a little plug? Give them a little plug.
I'll give them a shout out. Yeah, they're based in Halzo, and they've got a new store that's just opened. It's, let me just double check what the name of it, but they sell all sorts of sort of security products, from like cameras, smart cameras, TVs, all sorts really. But yeah, Halzo is the place to go. Let me just double check. It's where is it? Smart Secure. There you go. Smart Secure in Halzo.
Smart Secure. Right, we're giving you a little shout out there, Ed. Cheers,
there you go,
question,
Ed.
pal.
Yeah, hope you're happy now.
Do you guys have like a physical storefront as well that people can come and visit?
No, we don't. We have a unit. We have a unit based in Stourbridge, West Midlands. If somebody wants to come and have a look at our products and see how we manufacture them, I can give them, more than happy to give people a tour of our factory, and you can see how we manufacture them.
Cool.
Yeah, I love it when people give me a shout and say, look, I'm coming over for X, Y, and Z. But no, we don't have a shop front as such. Maybe in the future we might do. We've got our product in a couple of sort of security stores. But yeah, maybe one for the future, hopefully, as we grow and get a bit bigger. But yeah, but at the shows, if you're interested in our products, come and see us at the shows or online.
Yeah, right, cool. We'll do that then. Right, yeah. Next one, Ducati Ian. Such a shame the law isn't a significant enough deterrent. Luckily, in the sticks, it's still fine, but looking down south, especially around London, it's like watching Mad Max. I think he's talking bike crime. Yeah, Ian. In the cities, it's ever present, really, isn't it? It's Yeah, I've seen crazy videos of mopeds down in London, with fire extinguishers and grinders and that sort of stuff. Look, that's extreme gangs and organised crime. I presume, Bruce, you'd probably have a better insight to that than myself, would you? In terms of the gangs down in London? Yeah. Obviously, I've been out the loop for a wee while now, to be honest. But it was rife. It was just rife, and there really wasn't too much that the old Bill were doing or could do, really, to be perfectly honest with you about it. Obviously, calls would come in all the time about people seen attacking bikes with angle grinders, and if you've got the manpower, then a unit would get sent there. But generally, by the time you get there, they're gone. 9 times out of 10, there just aren't enough. There just aren't enough. Old Bill, they're all tied up dealing with some shite or another that they can't get there. That's definitely one of the big issues in London. And as we've already touched on, it's simple things that there are still people who will ride their bike into central London, park it out in the open, like in a bike bay, and not even put a cover on it. They don't put a chain, they don't put a disc lock, they put nothing on it. And,
but you'd be surprised, Bruce, how many people who do the same when we go out and install. Just because your bike's away in a garage, the garage doors are so flimsy and easy to break into. You could break into them with a screwdriver in a matter of seconds. And they we've been to places and they got 3 or 4, high-end bikes just sat there with no security on them, and it's really shocking. You've got to be doing something about it. You've got to be physically locking it down and stopping them just from opening your garage and taking them, or on the street for that matter. Even a simple alarm disc lock, grip lock, something as simple as that, or a cover, as you mentioned. Just do something, lock it to something physical. Don't be another crime statistic. It's that simple, really. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. Quite depressing, that one, really. I don't know what the answer is in terms of how to stop the actual crime itself. I don't know if you can. You're always going to have people out there that there's money in it, so they will do it. Anything where there's money in it, they're going to do it. You just have to try and make it as hard as possible for them to get your bike. Just make it as unappealing as possible.
That's exactly it.
Yeah, it's all you can do, man, isn't it? And it sounds terrible that is it, but that is really all you can do.
It's just make your bike less appealing than the one next to it.
Yeah. Right, across to Facebook. So it's just TeapotOne on Facebook. What do we have here? Paul Hugs. Why do men have nipples?
I read this one this afternoon, and I said to Pat, I said, Pat, do you know why men have nipples?
I don't know. Why do we have nipples?
Oh, it came up somewhere. I came up on another thing that I was doing earlier in the week, and the actual scientific reason is that we all start as women, as an embryo. We all start as a woman.
Dave, hang on. What were you doing where this just came up?
I honestly don't have a clue, Bruce, but it came up, and for some reason, my memory's more normally like a sieve, and that one stuck. There you go. But yeah, I can give a scientific answer to that one. Was it Paul? Did you say? Was it Paul that asked that question?
It's Paul.
Yeah, Paul, yeah. I read that one, Paul, earlier today. So yeah, there you go. It's something to do with
we all start off as men.
Yeah. You all start off as in the womb. You start off as a woman before you develop, obviously, breasts or not breasts for men, and that's why it starts to develop a breast, and then
speak for yourself.
For some it carries on, and the boob turns into a man boob. But there you go.
There you go, Paul. Every day is a school day. How many times have I said that?
I did my research, Paul.
Nice one. I bet you never thought we'd be discussing that on the podcast, dude. We've covered all the questions, man. Nice one.
Oh, wicked! Cheers.
Awesome. How are we doing for time? How are you for time?
Was it 8:10? I'm good, mate. I'm good. How long do they normally last? Isn't it? How long do these things normally last?
Anywhere from, I've had them like 45 minutes through to just over 3 hours before.
Really?
So, but the long ones tend to be quite drunken.
Is it? Oh, okay. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's a school night, Bruce. So I'm not drinking.
No worries.
Yeah. No, I'm all good, mate. Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
Is that all right? Was that okay for you, or yeah? Mate,
it's spot on. Yeah. Is there any shout outs you want to give? Any plugs you want to give?
I think I've probably done them all in BMoto, the guys at the work, Rob and Pat. Just looking forward to sort of getting out to the shows. Hopefully people will be there at the NEC. We'll see, hopefully, a lot of people there, get them seeing our products. And it's just talking to people. I mean, I love talking to people. So if they just want to chat, just come over and chat.
Beautiful. Yeah. Whereabouts are you based?
Just in general. We're in Stourbridge, West Midlands. We've got a unit there.
Right. Anyone in Stourbridge, West Midlands, who either has a motorcycle training school or knows of one, give him a shout, give him a tag, get his finger out his arse and get him on 2 wheels.
Give us a message or whatever. Yeah, more than happy to help and chat to people and see what we can do. Yeah, absolutely.
No pressure.
or for that matter, if you just want to come and see the factory and the unit where we design and manufacture, my background was nothing to do with engineering or metalwork, and I absolutely love working there. So for people who just want to see how we do stuff, give me a shout and come and see it for yourself.
I've a wee idea about that. I'll have a chat with you off camera about that.
Okay.
Yeah, it might be something we can do there for sure.
Yeah.
Cool.
Perfect.
Dave, it's been really nice to chat with you, man. We've sort of been in touch via socials for quite a while now, but never really had a good chance to have a good chat. So much appreciated, man. Really enjoyed
pleasure.
it.
Thanks for having me, Bruce. Cheers.
And I'll come see you at the NEC as well. Like I said, I'm there Saturday, Sunday, first Saturday, Sunday at the moment, and maybe we'll sort something out.
Yeah, perfect.
All right, dude.
All right. Great stuff.
Awesome to chat with you. Folks, hope you've enjoyed this one. Again, I'll leave all Dave's links down below. So if you're not familiar with the Guardsman or any of the Image4Security products, check out the website and their socials down below. TMF, Lamb Chops, Richie Vida, loads of the lads have the Guardsman installed, and they've got videos about that as well over on their channel. So I'll leave some links. Check it out. It's definitely something you could probably benefit from having in your shed or your garage or wherever you keep your pride and joy. Anyway, folks, keep doing your thing. Hope you've enjoyed this one. Look after those that you love. Get on out there and live your life. Woo-ha! It's been so long, I forgot how to end the blooming podcast.